This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, my friends, into the Superfans podcast. I am Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, Sean?
And Dave Oster.
Hey there.
And today we're going to be talking about the Chicago White Sox signing Yasmani Grandal and re-signing Jose Abreu. We'll be talking about Zach LaVine getting benched by Jim Boylen. And then we'll be talking about the Bears and should they draft a new quarterback, right? It's draft?
Yeah.
Is it draft?
Yeah.
We've given up on.
You're right.
Because we covered
Draft?
Cam.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right. You guys covered Cam without me.
Unless you want to talk about should they sign Colin Kaepernick.
Do you know what
We should.
I want to start off with this.
not?
Can I start off with a rant?
Go ahead.
Is that
I'll
okay?
allow it.
This
You're
is
the
gonna be-
host.
We're
Rant
going to let
away.
this go like
So-
the jump. You can have your opening rant.
Here's the thing with the because this is going
I
to
like
start
it.
off.
Take off headphones.
This is going to start off with a Grandal thing, but
Okay.
I want to start off with because we
Go
mentioned
ahead.
the Cam
It's-
stuff,
It's a podcast.
and this doesn't matter for the Bears thing. So you guys recorded the Cam Newton stuff, and the best moment of my life was driving down I-94 going north towards Milwaukee and seeing that the Bears got Khalil Mack. Because I didn't know it was a possibility. I didn't see him in rumors. It wasn't suffocating me for 3 goddamn weeks. I cannot go week by week listening to this Cam Newton bullshit. You know what's not happening? Them trading Cam Newton. You know what I don't need? Bears fans being like, hey, they should go get that Cam Newton guy. You know what's not happening? Cam Newton. Let's get it out of our fucking Twitter feeds. I don't need to see Cam Newton's going to be the next Chicago Bears quarterback because, A, it's a waste of my goddamn time because it's not going to happen. And 2, I don't think he's going to fit this team. So let's just stop on the Cam Newton bullshit because it's not happening. Quit dreaming of shit that's not going to happen. Cam Newton's not going to be a goddamn Bear. Tom Brady's not going to be a goddamn Bear. You might get Ryan Tannehill. Congratulations.
What about
the only
Colin
time
Kaepernick?
that this quarterback rumor shit has ever worked out and we've actually gotten the guy was Mike fucking Glennon. So let's get off this goddamn bullshit. I'm sick of Cam Newton talk. I'm sick of Tom Brady talk. I'm not sick of Tom Brady talk, but I'm sick of all these, Andy Dalton talks as well. Let's finish out the season before we start talking about things that's going to happen in April and May. It's obnoxious.
But Sean,
God.
what if we did?
God. You know what did happen? Yasmani Grandal is a Chicago White Sox, and I was juiced for it.
I
It
like
was
how you say White Sox.
White Soxes.
The
You
Sox.
dropped in the
Sox.
It's a Chicago. Joe Burrows.
Jules. For 4 years, $73 million for Yasmani Grandal. No trade clause in 2020. Limited trade clause, no trade clause in 2021, 2023. I was absolutely excited for this signing. I woke up at noon and it was already an hour before that they signed him. So I woke up to some great news and I just sat in my bed giddy for this because we got Yasmani Grandal and the White Sox signed they signed a big name free agent to a massive contract. The largest contract ever signed by a Chicago White Sox free agent. I'm so excited I can't even talk right now.
I was
I'm not even
shocked
making
when it
sense.
happened, too. I didn't know that was coming. I had no expectations that we would actually throw out that kind of money. That was a big thing to me.
I didn't even
not
think a
shocked.
free agent was going to sign this. soon.
I figured
See,
they'd go all in.
That's the thing.
Yeah, jump.
So I'm not shocked that they signed a deal because the whole talk was that they were going to go sign somebody. They even offered the Machado deal that was $275. So the money didn't shock me too much. And I'm not shocked that Yasmani Grandal is a White Sox. I'm just shocked that it happened so soon. And I'm shocked that they made this move and locked it up so early. And that's why I'm excited for this offseason. And I can't wait to be disappointed because then the next day they went up and got Jose Abreu and re-upped him. He has signed his qualifying offer for $17.5 million, so it's not too shocking that this happened. But he's going to be locked up until 2022. 2020 he'll make $11 million. He also has, I think, a $5 million signing bonus that year as well. So he's going to get, or there's bonuses for $5 million. I think with the wording was from Jeff Passan. Then in 2021, he'll make $16 million. And then in 2022, he'll make $18 million. And then he also has a no-trade clause in 2020 and then a limited no-trade clause in 2021. So those were the two moves the White Sox made. They made them early as well. So, Dave, you were talking about how shocked you were about the money handed out. So you talk about that before we get into the earliness of the signing and why that's intriguing to me.
It's uncharacteristic for us to actually close out a deal. And I expected if we were throwing down money, it would have been towards pitching. That was I was going for one of those big name pitchers that we've been just tantalizing out in front of us for basically the last month. And I was like, okay, if we're gonna get somebody, it's gonna be a pitcher. It's gonna be our ace. It's gonna be our guy. And instead, we go ahead and it's spent on a catcher who, credit, he's a fantastic catcher.
Third best catcher in the league.
Yeah. The problem is that it was just I did not see that coming. I didn't see a positional player getting that money from us out the gates because I thought, if anything, we swing for the fences on the pitching. We go for the big name, and then if we don't land that. Then after, a week, 2 weeks, whatever, like as the offseason for baseball continues on, then we can go ahead and unload some money on a positional player. It was just the order of events and how, like you said, how quickly it happened. I did not have the same priorities that I guess the White Sox had in my mind for them.
Yeah, largest deals for the White Sox. Grandal beats the Jose Abreu deal inked in 2013. That was 6 years, $68 million. Then Paul Konerko comes in third, 5 years, $60 million in 2005. Then the Adam Dunn contract comes in 2010, 4 years, $56 million. Then Albert Bell in 1996 for $55 million. So the actual free agent deal, this finally eclipsed the Albert Bell deal in 1996, which was the longest actual free agent deal that wasn't signed by a player that was already under contract or an extension like Paul Konerko was, or Jose Abreu, which was an international signing. So yeah, Albert Bell was, I think, people always talk about the Albert Bell contract being one of the ones. Maybe it was just like adjusted for inflation because the Dunn one beats it as well. But yeah, the money isn't too shocking to me because it seems like they've built it up to, all right, we're going to spend either last year or this year. Machado was different because he was so young. He still fit the age range where Grandal's 31. He's not 26 like Machado was. That's why he's not getting a massive deal. But for a switch-hitting catcher, his framing is great. And a lot of people brought up the James McCann thing. We'll get into that next. But the immediacy of how early it was signed. We saw Will Smith sign a deal last week with the Braves for $40 million, left-handed relief pitcher, formerly of the Giants. So we knew that deals were happening a little bit sooner, but this is pretty shocking that one of the top 5 free agents is gone this early compared to what we saw last year where Craig Kimbrel and Dallas Keuchel weren't even signed to midseason.
And Bryce Harper.
But Kimbrel and Keuchel were in the middle of the actual season.
But Harper
was
wasn't
spring
until
training.
right before. Yeah. And the thing that I think is that plays into it so much because now what this sets the White Sox up for is, hey, if this would have happened, let's say the same time around Bryce Harper, right before spring training, then you're kind of like shuffling or you're trying to make moves around it. Now the White Sox know, hey, we got this guy. He's locked down. Now they can make power moves at other free agents. Like, for example, Anthony Rendon, who Jim Boylen of The Athletic, according to him, the White Sox are a potential surprise destination for Rendon. I wouldn't be surprised if now with Grandal on this team, they could now make a push of like, see, we got Grandal. Think about what we could do with you on this team. And now they can make even a bigger push for a guy like Anthony Rendon. Yeah,
I think what the earliness of this signing means for me is not that they're going to go push for one of those bigger free agents. I'm not expecting Anthony Rendon. If I do, I would be elated more than this Grandal thing. I don't think this means either for a Cole or Strasburg. I don't think this is what this move means. But I do think it means that they're going to make a play on Zach Wheeler. That's been heavily reported now. Yep. But I think it's showing them that the free agents especially, not only are we going to make moves, but we're going to make moves to help you. Because this is a guy that is a great framer. This is a guy that is a very good defender. This is a guy that's going to help you out in your lineup as well. And now we have 2 catchers in James McCann and Yasmani Grandal, probably the best battery in the MLB right now that defensively and offensively can help you night in, night out. There was so much talk last year from the White Sox about how professional James McCann is and how much he brings to game plans and how much he helps these guys in what they want to throw and what to throw to batters. He is so detailed and he helps these guys. And now Grandal brings that framing into it. So it just gives them options that every day behind the plate, they're either going to give a guy that's going to help them in the strike zone or a guy that's going to help them at least game plan on how to face each and every batter. And you have so much professionalism behind the plate that's going to help you pitch, and it's going to help you even succeed more than you have in New York like Zach Wheeler or Atlanta and Houston like Dallas Keuchel. So that's the thing that I think they're trying to make for is that they went out and make this move to signal to pitchers that, hey, this isn't a destination that you are going to fail in. We want to set you up in the right spot because I don't think they're looking for a Rendon play just because the money's a lot there. And I think that he's not a natural fit, at least position-wise, because, yes, you could put him at second base. He could play that very well. And I'm not against Anthony Rendon signing here with the White Sox, but I'm just talking myself out of it mainly because I don't think it's a necessarily right fit.
Yourself.
I don't want to overhype myself, but I just don't think there are players in it. Bowden's saying that they're surprised, but so many times with that surprise stuff, it's just ways to
get a fan base
to get a fan base there, but I don't think Jim Bowden has a reason to do that. What Jim Bowden's getting is information likely from an agent, like, oh, these are teams that have talked to us. Yeah. So they're probably saying the agent's probably feeding him to as a surprise team because teams are like, oh, well, this team has money. This team's clearly trying to make moves. They've probably kicked their tires on Rendon. Hey, how much was it for him to sign with us? What is he looking for? They probably had very inquiry type conversations with him, and he's probably describing it as a surprise one because they have the money to do it. Yep. It would be a surprise to sign him because, holy shit, they spent a shit ton of money, but it's more to just scare teams into like, all right, we're going to have a lot of competitors.
These are competitors you gotta pay up now. Yeah,
exactly. It's really just his agent doing his best work for, it's Scott Boras, too. I want to make sure which agent. It's Scott Boras trying to make sure Anthony Rendon gets the most money possible.
We talked about last week how Scott Boras was like, hey, teams are going to look at the White Sox differently.
Yeah,
players are going to look at them differently.
He's not wrong, and that's why Grandal signed so early, because the White Sox didn't fuck around. They gave him the money that he wanted, and he said on 670 Score on the McNeil and Parkin show.
Plug.
Yep, absolutely a plug. Shout out to Danny and Danny Mac and Chris Tannehill and Nick Shepkowski. 2 to 6 on 670score.com and 104.3 WBMX HD2 streaming, and watch 670score.com. Anyways, he said on the interview with them that his main goal was to win. And now, as a White Sox fan, I'm like, we're going to do it.
All that was for his main goal is to win. We got a 40-second plug for his main goal is to win.
Definitely. Most Valuable Podcast. Watch everything here.
Yes.
Sean, you are bringing quality to the table.
But what he said was, his main goal was to win, but I tweeted this out and I said, he seems like a smart guy. He took a short contract last year, a 1-year contract, to then get paid this year. He knew the market was down last year, so then, hey, let's take a short contract this year, and let's go into a more healthier market next year, and it obviously cleared out and worked for him. And then when he was asked on that show, he said, what are his goals are for this year? He said, win. Haven't thought of personal goals. I have 2 loser rings, and I want a winner ring. So, because he was on the Dodgers and
the Brewers.
No, but he was on the Dodgers twice when they lost in the World Series. I think, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Now I'm just questioning if the Dodgers were on 2 losing World Series.
Yes, they were. I think. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, you're correcting me, but give me some proof.
He's
I'm
Googling.
looking it up.
Because he was on the Red Sox and the Astros.
Oh.
No, when he lost to the Red Sox and Astros.
He was on the Padres, Dodgers, Brewers.
Yeah,
Dodgers was 15 to 18.
Yeah, so he lost twice with the Dodgers to the Red Sox and Astros.
Yes.
I was trying to think of which World Series, not the teams. And he has a relationship with Ricky Widmer too, because he was a bench coach in San Diego. But I just feel like he wouldn't, if he didn't believe it, he wouldn't be here. And maybe that's just me as a White Sox fan, but that's another reason why I'm so amped up, is I think that this guy who's been in so many organizations believes that this team is heading in the right direction, that if they spend their money right, they can actually be a team that can win a championship. And right now they're not at that, even with the Grandal signing. They're not at that with the Abreu signing. But I just think that this team could finally make the right steps and strides to get there.
Yeah, say our core is growing, and I think, like you mentioned, having someone who has his age and his experience in that clubhouse is huge. Like Abreu is the emotional leader, I think, a lot of the time, because he's been around for a bit. He's a very calm, collected guy. And bring in Grandal, someone with that experience, someone with that it factor to his game right now. I think it's perfect. It's as we transition our team from rebuild to contend, that he's the right kind of guy to bring into a clubhouse.
Yeah, and the thing with that too is there's now, I think, a ton of there's Robert, who's going to be called up at some point, or Robert. That's going to become called up probably in April or May, depending on service time. I hope they call him up on opening day because he could play right now. But Robert, he's Cuban. Abreu, Cuban.
Yep.
Moncada, Cuban. And Grandal, he's Cuban. They have some of the best Cuban players in the world right now on their team. That's why I wouldn't be shocked if they make a shot at Puig. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they go after him, just because of, he's probably the largest Cuban player right now in the MLB. I do wonder, though, with all of that said, when it comes to what they're trying to look for now is they have the clubhouse leader, but one name that I've heard in some rumors is Castellanos, and that they're really intrigued on him. And then someone said like, oh, he's a clubhouse guy. And I was like, how many, like, I don't think clubhouse guys are bad things, but like, what's the whole thing about clubhouse guys? Like, was Jose Abreu really worth that contract? Because his actual value doesn't seem worth 3 years, $50 million. Well, I mean, if you're bringing in Castellanos too, like, what's the point of having 2 clubhouse guys? Like, I would rather just have the talent. Like,
I think the problem is we saw it happen on the north side. No offense, but like, I'd love to hear your opinion on this because this is a team where it felt like when everything clicked for them, they had that clubhouse guy there, and that's the face of the face of the clubhouse. So when you have the talent and you don't have that to balance it out, like to make sure they keep even, if they hit a bump in the road, things don't go poorly and tumble downward.
Yeah, they love the clubhouse guy so much that they hired him as the manager.
Yeah.
But even then, like, they talked about through this whole, like, after Ben Zobrist's divorce, like, they talked about, like, oh, he's a clubhouse guy, he's a leader in this. They went 22-25 with him on the roster. And then they went 7-13 when he came back after his divorce. The clubhouse guy didn't mean shit to him. I mean, give me a guy that's going to actually help you win games.
Yeah, a clubhouse guy doesn't mean you're going to win games, but it's important to have guys on the roster that, because baseball is such a long season. I'm going to say this, Dave. How long did we spend with each other over the summer?
Way too long.
Did you want to kill me by the end of it?
You know what? I didn't.
You said
you just killed all of Ricky's.
You said a different thing after we got back.
I think
maybe because you were in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
My point
absolutely.
is,
I needed some time.
My point is, take that, and now instead of the time we spent together, it's an entire baseball season.
Yeah, I can't imagine
you need a guy
together with guys that
you
much.
need a guy that is going to keep it light. You need a guy that's going to get the guys' heads off of baseball sometimes, or else they're just going to kill each other.
Yeah, and with that, though, Castellanos seems like a super intense guy. He said every day's opening day, every hit's one more closer to 3,000.
We don't know what they're like behind doors.
Yeah,
when those clubhouse doors
I'm not
close.
saying that he isn't a fun guy, but I'm just saying, like,
the image right now from his interviews.
Everything that he's putting out is that he wants to win.
Plus,
which is fine.
There are some guys that can turn it on the field, and then once they step off, boom, it's like a switch.
My thing is like, but I don't know if it's the brevity guy. I think that David Ross, the reason why they love him in the clubhouse was that he was on everyone's ass. So maybe Castellanos is that.
You need someone to be the accountability guy.
Yeah, but then the whole point of Jose Abreu is he's the accountability guy. Like, how many fucking accountability guys do I need? What the fuck is the point of a manager?
2 or 3 is a good number.
I don't know. Don Cooper's Mr. Hardass.
You need the team dad, for one.
That's
you need
Don
the accountability guy.
You need
That's
the older
Jose
brother.
Abreu.
Yeah,
And what are we?
And you need the goofy
and then you need the fun uncle.
Yeah, you need the fun
Are we going to need Jose
uncle.
Abreu to like talk to the Cuban players, and then Nick Castellanos to talk to the
You need a translator?
players? Like the American players.
It's
like
very important.
It's so stupid. Like, I don't need a clubhouse guy. Like,
I
give me a
think
guy
it's
that's
a
going to hit the ball and play decent defense. Castellanos can drill a ball, and we saw that in the north side.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. I think he's got decent splits in U.S. Cellular, which I'm fine with, but he's not that great of a defender, and I was thinking about this last night. If you have not that great of a defender in right field, in Nick Castellanos, then not that great of a defender in Eloy Jimenez in left field, and Tim Anderson, who has great range but made 26 errors last year, and then you have Jose Abreu, who's also not that good of a defender. Right there, 4 of your 8 positions, obviously not including the pitcher because that changes every 5 days, even within a game. It could be changed inning to inning. Half of your defense isn't good. And then you have catcher with Grandal, who is good. Good framer, okay throwing out guys, okay glove, but very good framer. Moncada, who's very good. Robert, who's a rookie, but has the ability to be very good. And then you have possibly Yolmer at second, who just won a Gold Glove. That's second base. Like, second base isn't that hard. So I just want to say, like, this defense might be
second base is the least impactful
garbage.
I want to see you take live grounders from an MLB player.
If Ben Zobrist can do it,
base.
I could absolutely play second base.
All right, I want to see that.
I'm just saying, like, Yolmer Sanchez isn't a bad defender. I'm not saying that. If you're winning a Gold Glove at something, you're clearly a good defender. But, like, how many? Like, you look at how many old guys have played second base. Like, Brian Dozier was playing second base. Jeff Kent played second base till he was like 40. Craig Biggio, I think, was playing second base. It's you need to be very in the right positions, but you need to be super athletic to play that position.
You're not covering as much ground.
All I want to say. So, like, our best defender literally might be at the easiest position to defend.
And you're already trying to replace him at times, too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess first base would be, but even then, our first base.
No, it's
guy
first
isn't
base.
that
You have
good.
to have a good hand. You have to be good for pickoffs. You have to be good at swipes.
Yeah, you have to be
got
very
a little
good
bit
at
of
scooping
versatility
and stuff. Yeah,
too.
but I played first base. First base is fucking easy. First base was fun. But anyways, I played it in 8th grade, so maybe I shouldn't be comparing it to the MLB.
Basically professional.
Yeah, Oaklawn fall ball is pretty much the Major League Baseball
There you go.
league. But I'm worried about the defense on this team, and the Abreu contract worries me too because yes, it's less this year, which means you can give a ton of money to people in the
Right.
first year.
Lock 'em up.
But then what's it going to mean? So and you also have Andrew Vaughn. There's been talks about moving Eloy to first base. There's talks of with this Grandal signing too that when McCann's catching like Giolito, that you move him to first base because he can play first base. So like you just gave him $50 million to be a clubhouse guy. Like, are we fucking kidding me here? He's gonna be 35 at the end of this contract. This is ridiculous. So at some points, I've loved this White Sox season off season. I love the Grandal signing. This White Sox
3 words. Any order you want to choose them.
White Sox offseason signings. I've loved this White Sox offseason so far because you get Grandal.
Yeah.
But there's the Abreu contract's concerning to me because of the years on it and then the fact that it goes up in years. So it goes from 11 to 16 to 18. I would much rather see that flipped. I would rather see 18, 16, 11.
Yeah.
But in the end of it, if they're able to go out to get a top of the rotation guy,
Well,
like a
that's my
Zach
thing.
Wheeler.
Do you think that? So this is the start of the spending. Do you think that we're gonna pay for? At what point if we land an ace, then we still need depth in the outfield, like you said.
Yeah.
Are those still the 1 and 2 priorities for us right now? Is ace outfield?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
This goes into what I was going to ask you guys at the end because obviously I'm a Cub fan.
Ask it now.
Is
because I'll get into my stuff.
There are so many other needs for this team. I'm just going to give you a need. You tell me who would be your ideal guy for the White Sox to target.
Yeah.
Now that Grandal is signed, the first one I have on the list is DH. Many people are saying Encarnacion makes the most sense. What are you guys thinking for DH?
Honestly, I think it's somewhat solved. I don't think you need a guy to go out and sign a guy for DH right now.
I think you just shuffle. I think you can shuffle your existing.
You have Eloy that can DH. You have Abreu who could DH. He says he doesn't like DHing. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Put him at DH.
Yep.
Fucking hit. No, sorry, you're not gonna play the field. Like, who's gonna complain about that? Sorry, you're not gonna stay at first base and possibly get a grounder. You're not even that good of a first baseman. You could have Abreu who could DH. You could have Eloy who could DH. You could have Grandal DH. You could have McCann DH.
Yeah.
So I think you have enough bats to fill out that DH spot, and it's way better than what we had last year. So DH I think is pretty much solved. If they want to add a bat like Edwin Encarnacion, I'm not against it because power bats, we saw what Nelson Cruz did. He could absolutely change an offense. So if they're going out and adding it, that's fine. But it's one of those.
The cost is what matters the most at that point because it shouldn't be our number 1 priority.
It's a lower need.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's a very lower need for this team. So I'm not too worried about the DH spot. So what's the other one?
Right field.
Right field, I want them to trade for Starling Marte.
Okay.
It's a bat.
Oh.
He's a righty, and he's pretty decent in the field. Get on base. Want Starling Marte. He's a Pirates player right now.
Is this wish list or is this
trade him.
feasible?
It's feasible. He's not that expensive, and he's not like a stud. He's not like a 5-win WAR player, and the Pirates are looking to move people always. So I wouldn't be shocked if Starling Marte is on the trade block right now, and I would like them to get him because I want a player that can have that makeup of a contact bat that can get on base and that can play right field. And we saw what Adam Eaton was doing in right field when he was playing there.
Yeah.
He was such a good defender out there. I think if you have a great defender out there, Marte too, it's a pretty easy right field to play. I think is what I've heard. I could be wrong. It could be one of the harder ones. I know it's not Wrigley bad though. And I know it's not Red Sox bad because there's a ton of grass to cover out there, and you got the pesky pole and all that stuff. So, but I think it's one of the easier ones to traverse. So if you put a really good defender out there, it's just even amplified.
Yeah.
So I think that Marte could be a really nice addition to right field. I wouldn't be against Castellanos, but if Castellanos is then our DH, you could play the outfield a little bit too. I wouldn't be against that.
Kind of mix and match
But
them.
I would rather have Starling Marte over Nick Castellanos.
The other thing about Marte is the Mets have now jumped into his sweepstakes. So it's another team trying to get in there. The other two are pitching, starter, reliever.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand in my mind.
You need 2 starters. Zach Wheeler is the name I want. I know Sam wants Hyun-Jin Ryu.
Yeah.
I would go with Zach Wheeler, though. His numbers, I feel, are better, and he's getting better after
They're
coming off
trending
two Tommy Johns. They didn't get better last year. His 2018 was better when it comes to ERA and WHIP, so he was actually better in 2018. But 3.31 ERA in 2018, 3.96 in 2019. But his FIP, field independent pitching, was 3.25, which means that his ERA should typically be closer to that number. So it was pretty much the same. It was lower than his actual ERA was, 3.31, and then his FIP in 2019 was 3.48. So his ERA was actually a bit inflated by that number. So he should be around a 3.5 ERA pitcher. I'd absolutely take that, especially for striking out 9 guys a game like he's been doing. So I think he'd be a great addition, especially with a great catcher that can frame like a Yasmani Grandal, or a guy that is such a great preparer. Like
basically
a James
another
McCann.
coach on the field.
Yeah, I would absolutely love Zach Wheeler out there, and plus I love guys who throw 100. Come on, Hyun-Jin Ryu, though. I mean, he's been very good, and he has time with Grandal as his catcher, which is probably the most intriguing part about that for him, because Grandal caught him in 2018, and when he was their catcher, of course I can't find it. I just had it pulled up, and now I can't find it. Awesome. He had a 2.61 ERA over 11 games with Grandal.
That's pretty good.
59 strikeouts, it's over 58 innings. And then I think does it have it on there? It doesn't have FIP on there. But he was under.
Oh.
Yeah, I think his WHIP was pretty much at 1 or a little bit over 1. But he had a very good FIP in 2018. So the last time we caught him over 11 games, it was very good. So I mean, that's
an encouraging sign.
They've had very good numbers with each other. And then Grandal in 2017 too. He caught him, and let me find that. Sorry for this. There it is. 3.31 ERA, and then 80 strikeouts over 84 innings, and then 32 walks and 84 hits. So a much inflated WHIP there, but it's a little bit intriguing that it went down from 2018. He has been becoming a better pitcher. So
absolutely,
I wouldn't be against Hyun-Jin Ryu or Zach Wheeler as your ones that you sign, or I guess Giolito would be your one, and then your 2 starters. And then you need to go out and get another guy to fill out that 5th spot, because I don't trust any of the other guys. Rodon's not going to be back until July or June, I think. Kopech's coming off Tommy John, so I don't trust him, although he's going to be healthy for the start of the year. Ronaldo Lopez is up and down. He can strike out 15 and then give up 15.
Yeah, he's intense.
He needs to fix a lot when it comes to his actual mechanics. Because there was a thing that was great when he was pitching one of the days that Steve Stone was saying, like, he's throwing his changeup wrong. And then after that game, he started throwing his changeup right, and I think he struck out 15.
It's just just mechanics, inconsistent.
So he's got to become more consistent with his mechanics. So I don't trust that enough. So I think you need to bring in a 5th starter. A guy like Tanner Roark would make sense to me. Cole Hamels would make sense to me. A guy that has been there before. I wouldn't be against bringing Ivan Nova back because he did pitch with him at least last year. Keuchel, I think, is going to be too much money for them to get for them to sign as their guy. I wouldn't be also shocked if they get like Felix Hernandez, although I don't want to see him in a White Sox uniform. Or Alex Wood would be interesting too. He had a really good year with L.A. Pitched with Grandal before. Was injured last year with Cincinnati, so he would be an interesting one. But I think that would be the guys that I would go with. So I would say that one
top of the line is Wheeler.
2 guy, Wheeler and Hyun-Jin Ryu, and then the other guys like the guys that I mentioned, like Nova, Hamels,
just
Felix Hernandez, Clay Buchholz, I think would be interesting. Hellickson or Alex Wood, I think those are the names that I would be interested in.
Is there a closer specifically, or do you feel like closer? Because I'm almost like on the fence on like, do we need to land a closer right now? I think that's one that if we don't hit now, you can always look mid-season. There's always someone floating.
I don't hate their bullpen as of right now. Colomé was their closer last year, and he did a fine job. I think he blew like 3 saves. I don't know if he's the guy for sure, but Bummer's been great. I think Jace Fry has a lot of potential. Kelvin Herrera's been pretty good. Evan Marshall's pretty decent. They do need to add another bullpen arm out there, but I don't think it's like massively necessary. It's more necessary than DH, but I don't think it's going to be something as pressing as like they need a closer, top of the line guy. They don't need like to go out and spend a ton of money on one of those guys. I wouldn't be against though, like getting a Will Harris from Houston or getting a Daniel Hudson back from the Nationals. I wouldn't be against any of that. Or a Colin McHugh. He's a guy who could do starting and relief pitching. So I think you could add a guy for sure, but I don't think it's pressing to say. So I think those were the additions that I would make as of right now.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that's all I have.
All right, sweet.
That's all I have.
Cool. That's going to do it for the White Sox episode. I talked for a ton. Or the White Sox segment. Jesus, I talked too much today. I don't know how to speak. Let us know what you think about the White Sox, and tell me I'm a bum ass, because I am. But let's move into the next segment. We're going to be talking about Jim Boylen possibly losing the locker room. If you did not see yesterday, after the Heat jumped out to a 15-0 run over the Chicago Bulls. Remember when they were making the playoffs? Jim Boylen pulled Zach LaVine 3.5 minutes into the game. He said, I thought he needed to come in and think about it. He had 3 egregious defensive mistakes. Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen and our starters have to play better. That's how it works. Boylen called the slow start frustrating. It's not right, and it bothers me. And then LaVine went on a little bit of a rant. I think it was about 2 minutes of a rant. And I got to throw a shout out to my guy Tony Gill for recording what Zach was saying. And Zach, I think, said he agreed that he had one mistake that he could realize, but then you'd have to ask Jim about the other ones.
The exact quote was Casey Johnson had it. First, it was on being singled out. Zach said, "If you just pulled me, yeah." Then he went on the rant of, "I guess I was to blame for it. I got pulled early before by him. I guess that's just his thing. I have to take it in stride." What did he say for when I got pulled? Told that Boylen the 3 egregious mistakes. Zach LaVine said Zach LaVine got 13 points scored on him, I guess. Or was it the starting 5? I don't remember. I thought I was trying to do my job. I don't remember seeing 3 egregious mistakes. I think I was supposed to show on one and didn't. I told him because Jimmy doesn't usually set screens, he slips out of them. I didn't want to show and have him cut right to the basket. The other 2, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll get into Zach's comments a little bit, but clearly something's a little bit iffy. And there was also a tweet too, I believe, from one of the Bulls Insiders guys. But he was the thing that you tweeted there.
Yeah, Matt Peck.
Yeah, where he said that Boylen after the Lakers game, he said, or after the Lakers game, he said, I don't pull people.
I never yank guys.
That's it.
I never done that. I'm not doing that. Boylen after the Heat loss, after taking Zach out, I pulled him.
All right, so let's get
Yanks
into
and
that.
pulls are different, right?
The starters looked horrible against the Heat. The bench looked decent. Mm-hmm. Jim Boylen now having a little bit of a run-in with Zach LaVine after this Heat game. Dave, do you think Jim Boylen's lost the locker room?
Yeah. No, this is a no-brainer. This is lack of results, poor performances, lack of effort on the court from guys. All these signs are, as a coach, you're not able to do your job. You're not able to do what you're brought here to do. I don't know that there's a quick answer for him to get it back, but what I do know is that right now those players and him are seen very differently on a lot of issues. And I think that if he can't close that gap out, he's not long for Chicago. Hopefully, finally.
Well, it's just, to me, it's just, you look at it and it goes, if he was doing, even, because not everyone's perfect, but if he was hitting his rotations, putting the guys in the best spots, we weren't questioning anything. I wasn't using words like incompetent to describe Jim Boylen. Then you could say, well, okay, at least he's putting them in the right situations.
Yeah.
Jim Boylen's not doing anything to have us lose games. But when we're questioning rotations and why did he leave these guys in too long and what's he doing with this? And it's just like, the players are probably looking at it going, it's not all us. You're kind of an idiot too.
Can I put this out there?
Go ahead.
I already ranted a little bit for the Grandal thing, so fuck it. We can do 2 rants. Why not? Ricky, I think you know this, and I think we all know this. You mainly because you are a teacher.
Yes.
But you can have a bad teacher, but the kids also be shits.
Yes.
Just also be complete assholes
You can have
of
the
kids.
best teacher in the world, and the kids are just shits.
There was a teacher that I had in high school that was a very lovely person, very nice person, very, very caring about her students, would go the extra mile.
Yeah.
But the classmates that I had were just absolute assholes and tried to ruin her day each and every single day. And I think that it could be true that you could also have a bad teacher and also bad kids, and it's just exemplified. Jim Boylen clearly makes consistent mistakes. I think he makes consistent mistakes after every single Bulls win. He always gives so much praise after Bulls wins and then turns his tone the next day and is like, oh, these guys need to try hard. After the game that Lauri Markkanen had against who was game 15 against?
The Pistons.
After game 15, he was giving Lauri Markkanen so much praise. He was so aggressive. This is what his work is shown off. This is what working hard does for you every single day. Yeah. And then the next game you go out and say it's his fault for not trying hard enough. Well, why is he not trying hard enough? Maybe there's not a foot far enough his ass to feel pressure. Maybe you need to be harder on your players to get them to try night in and night out. That is the issue with you, Jim Boylen, is that you're not doing a consistent job of giving the right message to your players night in and night out. You're trying to be their best friend when they do good enough, and you're trying to be their harshest critic when they fuck up. You need to be up their ass and on their ass every single day of the week. When they play well, you say, great, do it again. And when they play poorly, you need to be on their ass saying you need to be in the gym 2 hours every single day. If you have the punch clock, we'll actually show what the punch clock means besides saying, here's a punch clock, see, they're working hard. Well, what does it mean? We haven't heard about the punch clock since then. If the punch clock means anything, be like, oh yeah, and Zach LaVine came in 2 hours early and started getting his jump shots, and it showed because he scored 27 points and was great efficiently and moved the ball around and played within the offense. But it's also on the players for not moving around. Zach LaVine, after the Nets loss, said, I had 12 eyes staring at me. You know what Jim Boylen can't do? Make the guys move. He can preach moving. He could say, you guys need to move. You guys need to be playing within the offense. He could set up the offense. I don't know if the offense is right.
What offense?
But also the players need to move, and I think that it's tough for a defensive coach to be, well, that's on the front office, but it's tough to put the defensive coach to then be like, all right, now you're going to put in an offense that's going to instill 3-point shooting. That's tough for Jim Boylen. I won't bash him too hard on that. That's because Garpax is a fucking idiot. But also, what player just stands around and a basketball player, especially after you've been playing the game for 20 years building up to this? Everybody knows that if you're not moving, you're playing basketball wrong. You're playing offense wrong. You need to be moving around and keeping the defense guessing and moving and passing, so you're getting mismatches and open shots. You need to be moving the ball around, and the players need to be moving around because you're trying to create mismatches and open shots for your teammates. This is just basketball, and they don't realize that. And I think it's on the players to at least realize, hey, if I'm in a bad situation, I still need to help myself out. And that's why Shaq Harrison looks so good, because that guy's trying to make an NBA roster. That guy's trying to impress, and he's going to play his ass off every single night because he's trying to fight for a job. Zach LaVine, who got 4 years, $78 million, isn't going to do that. Lauri Markkanen, who knows that he can be in the league for 10 years because he's a 7-footer that can shoot threes, isn't going to do that. Wendell Carter's trying to prove it because that's the type of guy that he is. He works his ass off. He's a guy that's very smart and knows that he's going to try and night in and night out because that's the kind of makeup that he has. Kobe White is going to go out there and hustle because he's a guy who hustles. Those are the guys that hustle out there. But that's not in the makeup of some of these players to go out and do that because they want the coach to do everything for them. They just want to be everything tailor-made for them, that they can go out and score 30 a night. That's on them. So I agree that it's on Jim Boylen, but I also think it's on the players for stepping up, and they need to fucking man up. Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen mainly.
So how does a coach correct that on the court? How do you send that message that effort or you're on the bench? In my mind, you have to bench. You have to start benching these guys. I don't care what their contract is. I don't care what their name is. If they don't show effort, if they don't show they're sticking to it and they're all in, there's the bench. That's
the thing. I'm not against Jim Boylen benching Zach LaVine at all, or even Lauri Markkanen, because he was doing it in the fourth quarter of games as well.
Couple games, yep.
I'm not against that at all.
Yeah.
But the reason why he has to bench them is because his original words are hollow. It's on the coach for not pushing pressure on them from game one. In the offseason, he's going and swimming in the oceans of Finland, being best buddies with Lauri Markkanen. Clearly, that message was not sent because in game 2 of the season, he was already detached from you.
Yeah.
He is not trying because I don't think it's in Lauri Markkanen's DNA to, but it's also Jim Boylen not able to bring it out in him. He's trying to be his best friend. So even if he's benching him, the words are hollow because Lauri Markkanen probably doesn't think of him as a threat.
I think Boylen's like a two-faced kind of person. Like he's saying one thing to the media and one thing in the locker room.
I would not be surprised at that.
Because I have no imagination, or I have no thought that like Pop is not Pop no matter where he's at. Like Pop is just Pop. That's who he is as a coach. I think many coaches are like that, and I fear that like Jim Boylen is showing one face to the press and then one face in the locker room, and I think that sends a conflicting message to the guys in the locker room of like, wait, what is actually going on? Like, how do you actually feel about this, and what do you actually want me to do?
I don't think that's Jim Boylen's I don't think that's actually Jim Boylen. I think it could be absolutely true, but I think it's because that's a sign of someone that's way too in over their head.
See, I think
that's what's happening. This is a guy that was pulled off your bench to be your head coach, and then for some reason was giving an extension even though nobody wanted him.
Yeah,
like it's just he's in the wrong situation.
And I mean,
Jim Boylen should not be a head coach, and I don't think Jim Boylen's a bad person. I think that Jim Boylen's a fine person, so I don't want to bash on him.
He's a terrible coach, though.
But he's a horrible head coach. He's a horrible head coach.
Yeah,
and he's probably great as an assistant coach because
he doesn't
have to fake being a nice guy. Like he's a football guy. He always talks about I'm a football guy. I like being a football guy. So he's probably had some coaches rag on him. So he's probably realized, this is what used to happen to me when I used to, fuck up in football. He used to go after guys and get hot. Like they used to go after him and get hot. But he was also their best friend because they knew it was just for the game. But I don't think any of these basketball players believe in Jim Boylen.
Well, and the thing that through my videos so far, it was one of the Superfans we did where Sean and I were on the same table. I think it was the one. I can't remember exactly what we were talking about with the Bulls when you hosted, Dave, but I was like, it's Jim Boylen, Jim Boylen, Jim Boylen. And Sean was like, it's also the players too. And now through the season, I'm starting to see there is onus on each. But to go, I wouldn't go as far to say that Larry Markin, it almost sounds like you were almost calling him lazy in a sense of like, I would say unmotivated, but
there's no fire underneath him.
But whose job is it to help light that fire? It's the head coach.
I'm not. When did I say it's the head coach?
No.
I've said his. All right, here. I'll take your water.
Away.
I'll take your water.
Just take it away from him.
It's not on the table anymore.
Again, I'm not saying that this isn't part of Jim Boylen. Jim Boylen is having hollow words that aren't setting enough of a fire under his ass.
I didn't want to seem that like Larry Markin is not. It's a lazy. Like
I think he
we're
is.
not calling him lazy.
I think he is. I'm calling him lazy. I also think he's lazy. But to also. For a coach to realize that and then light a fire under the lazy kid's ass to start the season is something that's important. So I'm saying that it's both. Lauri Markkanen can be lazy. Jim Boylen's doing a bad job of motivating the lazy player, and that's why it looks as bad as it does.
So I'm not going to go. Obviously, I don't know Lowry personally, but I'm going to say
he's not aggressive. One of them.
That's the thing. He's not aggressive. I wouldn't say he's lazy. And the Zach comments made today are even more telling, where he said, I just, these are Boylen's comments. The one that Zach said was, I guess I was to blame for it. I've gotten pulled early by him. I guess that's just his way of doing things. Got to take it in stride. And he went on to say, if he doesn't trust me, it's hard to trust someone who doesn't trust you. I wouldn't be surprised if Lauri Markkanen on the other side is like, and I wouldn't be surprised if this mindset spreads in the Bulls like a cancer of like, you know what? Why should I even fucking try? Like, if you're gonna be this and I can't fucking trust you as the head coach, why should I give you my all? I'm just gonna phone it in each night. And as a fan, that pisses me off because you should want to give everything 110% for the fans that are coming to the games, watching the games. But at the same time, when you don't have that guy lighting the fire under the ass, it's like your teacher thing. The teacher has to be there to light the fire under the students' asses. The students aren't just going to go, I'm here for calculus.
Disagree.
Woo!
But disagree. The great players in the NBA are motivated by themselves. The great players in any sport are motivated by themselves.
Is Zach LaVine or Lauri Markkanen a superstar?
No, but
and that's the point.
The thing.
But if you don't want it, then I can't make you want it. Like that's the problem.
True. Good point. True.
Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, these guys have had guys who have been head coaches throughout their careers who we've been like, that's a placeholder. Like we all understand what's going on there. We're looking at it right now.
LeBron James, I can make it easy. How many has he not had a placeholder? One. Eric Spoelstra.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Guys who want it, and Kobe talks about this a lot, is guys who want to be the greatest, guys who want to win more than anything. It doesn't matter what a coach says to them. Their motivation is their motivation. Like, nothing the coach says is going to affect that. If the coach criticizes them or talks about whatever, it doesn't matter because they want it and they know they want it. And I think that's the problem with Lowry and Zach is they're not 100% towards being the best player they can possibly be at the sport because they're not constantly working on the game. That means they don't care as much. And that's all it comes down to is what's your commitment, what's your dedication to the game.
And this is something, too. Zach LaVine has always been a bad defender. This is pre-Jim Boylen. This is pre-Fred Hoiberg. This is even stemming back to his Minnesota Timberwolves day. We know Zach LaVine does not have a mentality to play defense. That's on Zach LaVine. I don't care. You've had 3 different head coaches. That's on you. You need to be able to set your fire and be like, all right, I need to be able to be a two-way player. Zach LaVine, hey, me and you, I know we're the same person. We were the same type of student. We would wait till the last second to fill out a paper, to do everything. We are huge procrastinators, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I would say that we aren't the best type of students, and some teachers would get the best out of us. But there's also those people that every single class, they had everything a week done before.
Yeah.
That is a type of motivation that great people have. I'm not saying that you can't still be great and have the mentality of a lazy, of a procrastinator. You can't be great and also be a procrastinator. But there are some people that work their ass off night in and night out to be the best that they can, and Zach LaVine is not a person that is that.
See, I'm on the other side of. With Zach, we see the proof. He's talked about the proof. We love off-season workout videos, right? How many did we see with Zach LaVine?
Is that proof?
And him working with his father? It shows that he's actually working on shit.
Is that not media messaging?
No, but
is that just not propaganda?
I'm just saying.
How many times did we see? How many times did we not see it from Andrew Wiggins?
I'm saying.
We saw the same off-season workout, and the coach put him in the best situation. Go ahead, but I'm just saying, like, I think you're wrong.
I just want to, like...
Go ahead.
My opinion, I want to say it, is just the fact of I don't look at Lowry, I don't look at Zach and think, wow, they're not working on their game at all. That they don't want to be better basketball players. What I think it is at this point, especially with Lowry, Zach I don't have this concern with, Lowry I do. Offensively, he's not fully there. He still needs to be tooled. He's still a young player. And we have Jim Boylen molding that clay to where I wouldn't be surprised. That's why maybe we're seeing the inconsistencies of aggressive Lowry and non-aggressive Lowry, because Lowry's still learning after a year of being injured too last year, and Jim Boylen's not helping. And I feel like Jim Boylen being here is actually one of the reasons of the regression. It's not all on Jim Boylen. Yes, it's on the players too, but he's the stem of it to me. A new coach could come in here and be that teacher you talk about to get the best out of this team.
I'm not saying that there's more in these players. There's 100% more in these players. These players are still talented. But at some point, these players are also better than a 5-11 team and doing what they did and getting outscored by their bench. That's on their players. The starters should be able to realize that they're getting outworked by their bench and step up and start playing better. That's on the players.
And that's why I can't wait to see tonight's game. We're recording this on Saturday, the Hornets.
Game by game, we've seen that it doesn't transfer every single day.
Yeah.
And that's, game to game, I think that's Jim Boylen. And week to week, that's Jim Boylen. But
even
also within the game, the players need to fucking step up. I want to keep saying nut up. They need to nut up and just realize the situation that you were in. You're not a helpless person, that you're not like, oh, the coach isn't helping me and the teacher didn't help me. Like, how many times have we heard that? Our good buddy, Bob Halbert, right?
Yeah.
Just recently passed away. He said that, and I was listening to some of the post-game interviews. He said, a player either has confidence or they don't. And he said so many times that, oh, that coach killed my confidence in high school. He's like, that's a load of crap. You killed your confidence. Yeah. You let it take that away from you. Zach LaVine, I think, still has confidence within himself, but I don't think he has the effort to be a great defender. That doesn't mean he can't be a good an NBA player. I think with the right coach, he could be a very good NBA player, especially on the offensive side. I don't think Jim Boylen's that person for him, without a doubt. But Zach LaVine not trying defensively is on Zach LaVine. I don't care what coach you have. That's on Zach LaVine. If you have Greg Popovich, doesn't mean Zach LaVine's going to play defense.
And the funny thing is, defense is one of those things where effort goes a long way. Offensively, we get it. If you don't have a great shooting motion, if you don't have great mechanics, you're not going to be a great offensive player. The most you can do is try to space the floor, be in the right place at the right time. Defensively, effort goes so far because just being there, knowing, when to expend your energy, covering a guy, absolutely locking someone down, close pass lanes, it goes so much further. And that's one of the things that kills me about players who are bad defensive, because all you have to do is put in a little effort, and it's very clear how much that goes.
And I want to bring this into you. This is from Will Gottlieb on Twitter, at Won't Gottlieb. Gottlieb spelled Gottlib. And he said, this is quoting the Zach LaVine 2-minute thing about the defense and personnel stuff and why he got pulled. Zach didn't know I got pulled. I think that's probably on Jim Boylen because if Jim Boylen's so pissed off, he should be talking and screaming at him.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, give him a silent treatment.
Yeah.
That's a ton of crap.
Yes.
Like, go and be like, all right, this is why you got pulled. Step up and be a better NBA player.
I just want to inject this in too. Why are we pulling him and then he still gets 29 minutes? Like, that to me does not send a message.
Well, you still need to
like you
play the guy.
You
There's
benched
only
him.
3 minutes. It's
Like,
3.5 minutes in the game.
Take some minutes away. Give it to, like, that to me would send a message more than, no, you're going to sit here during the first.
And that's my thing is, like, I want to see Boylen make a message and be like, look, if you're not going to try, I'm not going to put you out there.
Yeah.
And that would be a massive message to send to everybody.
And here's the thing. I was starting to disagree with you. You changed my mind. Because, again, that's just Jim Boylen's words being more hollow. Your actions need to show that. So I was first fighting on that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's on Jim Boylen because he's averaging 31 minutes a game.
So
he got 2 less minutes.
Yeah. Well,
come on.
Not even that. It's like I said in my Bulls reaction when I said the original Superfan topic, I was like, oh, we should talk Shaq Harrison. Harrison.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say like Woody Harrelson, but you said, oh, well, Zach got benched. I was like, oh, shit, I can't wait to watch. And like, what happened? And then it happened, and I just went, oh, so he got benched in the first. He still played 29 minutes. He like during the game, it just felt like
there was another thread that actually went out and showed it. He wasn't closing out when the ball was passed out. Wide open guys were on there, and he was just making wrong choices. He wasn't showing effort out there. And there was also, they told me to show, and I didn't. Zach intentionally going against the game plan of showing against Jimmy Butler. He did not do that. Said he didn't want to let Jimmy slip, which tells me he doesn't believe in the blitzing defense, which means he's not buying into the coach. I get it. If you're not a fan of Jim Boylen, that's fine, but you have to at least. If they have a game plan, you have to trust that. Maybe he is losing the locker room there, and we could say that as well. But also, that is Zach's choice to then not believe in the coach, and then said he doesn't even know the other 2 mistakes. But yeah, there's another thread from let me get it. 1 sec. Brian Oringer, Oranger, BryanOringher at Scout with Brian, and he said, okay, I dove into the 327 start for the game, and he has all the examples too. But there was stuff where he wasn't closing out, he wasn't buying in, he wasn't giving effort. He's slowly following Butler around a screen and then not closing out and helping. There's a ton of it. There's I think 6 plays or something like that. That just show that Zach LaVine wasn't hustling out there. So again, it comes back to that whole teacher thing. Like, I think that Jim Boylen is a bad teacher. Yes. I think that he is absolutely being brushed off by his students. But it's the student's choice to brush off that teacher, and it's also the student's choice on how hard they want to work to get an A. I don't think Zach LaVine is trying hard enough to even get an A in this class. And I think that's one sign that Jim Boylen needs to go, and B, I think Zach LaVine also needs to be traded.
To play devil's advocate, could it be a possibility that he's a student that just sits there and goes, no matter what I do, I'm not going to get an A? Like,
I don't know.
I've been in those classes to where it's like, no matter what, I'm not getting an A, so fuck it.
That's his fault and his motivation.
Right, but the irony in the situation is he's getting abused by the one player in the league who no one will ever question his effort, and Jimmy Butler. The guy who
we traded for Zach LaVine.
Notorious. Yeah, we traded for him, and the guy went into a team. Yep. But the guy went into a
first
team.
win Jimmy's had over us since
beat the starting unit with 3 guys off the bench, and again, it's all about effort. That is the message, and that is what Jimmy Butler's known for. It's funny. What is Zach LaVine known for? Effortless athleticism.
Contest.
Yeah,
just absolutely effortless athleticism. And I keep using the word effortless because I feel like that's telling of where he's at right now in his game, not evolving. His game and his level.
Are you saying
staying about the same?
Are you saying Zach LaVine might have been the student who?
Everything
for example, I'm doing relating it to the band world that I was in. I can do this. I don't need to practice. It's so easy for me.
Shit came easy to him. He's a great number 2 guy. He's a great number 3 guy on a team, but he's never gonna be the guy because he doesn't have the drive.
Literally, we have to have this conversation that the guy that we come in to be the one is not going to be the one.
That's all
we had it with Jimmy Butler.
We got rid of him. We haven't let him off the hook.
Here's what I'll say, and this is to Dave's point.
Yeah.
The reason why he is such a good shooter is probably because he worked on it, right?
Oh, he absolutely did at some point.
And absolutely. So he worked for that.
Yep.
But also, something that was given to him, trusted with him, is his first and second step athleticism. He's able to start so fast, blow by a defender, and get to the bucket. He's been able to do that even before the NBA. So he hasn't had to work on that. So he's just already had an offensive game that is quicker and gifted to him. He hasn't had to work. He doesn't have the effort. He doesn't have the ability to be a 1- and 2-way player. I think it's absolutely a mix of Jim Boylen and Zach LaVine. That's why I think Jim Boylen needs to be fired. He won't be. And I think that's why Zach LaVine needs to be traded. He might be.
It just brings me to the thing that I was thinking about was I feel like this season's going to come down to now of now we've talked about the student teacher. Now the student's an adult and's got a job, and you're at that job and you're like, fuck it, I hate it here. Like, I hate being here. I'm going to look for a new job. I feel like that could be Zach LaVine if this progresses of like, you know what, fuck it. I ain't going to deal with him. I don't want to be here. Fucking trade me.
Let's just keep up with the student-teacher things. How many more years does Zach LaVine have his contract? 2?
2. Yeah.
I think he's probably thinking, I'm going to get you out of here anyways. I'm going to be out of here in 2 years. He's a junior. I'm going to be gone. Fuck this class. And Jim Boylen's the one with tenure because he knows he's not going to be fired. Jim Boylen knows he's going to outlast Zach LaVine.
Oh,
I hope Jim Boylen's gone at least by the furthest the end of the year, but this year
we're fighting over something we agree with. Jim Boylen needs to be gone, right?
Yeah.
And Zach LaVine, do you think Zach LaVine's trying his best?
I think Zach LaVine can still work with someone other than Jim Boylen.
No, I'm not saying that. Do you think he's trying his best
right now?
No, because
Okay,
like you said, Jim Boylen's words are hollow and he's got no motivation.
I feel like they're just shutting down inside, and they need. I think Boylen, if he wants to get this back, go harsh.
I don't think he can.
Zach LaVine.
I think you go harsh
can.
because he's playing with house money, like Sean said,
Trust is like glass, Dave. Once it's broke, it's never the same.
and that's fine. Boylen, break that glass, shatter that shit on the floor, and make an example.
Yeah, I don't think this is all on Zach LaVine, obviously. I think that Jim Boylen needs to be fired. I think his words are hollow. I don't think he has a consistent message.
Do you think both
he
need to happen or just one? The firing and the trading?
I think Zach LaVine would be better off in a situation. I think that's best for him. I think if I was going to keep one, I would be Zach LaVine and put him with a different coach.
Absolutely.
However, I think the best thing for the Chicago Bulls is to make moves. It's getting Zach LaVine off the team, it's getting Lauri Markkanen off the team, and it's moving away from Jim Boylen. I think there are a lot of moves that should happen with this Chicago Bulls team. It is not a good sign.
I don't know about moving away from Lowry yet.
Which one? Why? What has he shown you? Do you think he's honestly ever going to be someone that's going to be an offensive impact? I don't even think he knows that. I don't think he cares.
He's fucking young.
Who cares?
He's had 2 years where in both of those years he looked like a, what was it, like 16 point a game score,
he
18
can
point a game
score.
score?
That's great. When he wants to, he can score.
Yeah.
When he wants to. It's been 3 years. Why do we have to then realize that, like, wait, maybe at age 26 he's going to be a great scorer, man. Maybe
He's
it's all
like
going to click.
22, right?
I don't know. My laptop
No,
died.
he's like 20.
I don't care.
He's 21, somewhere in that range.
What is that a big deal?
Out there. Because
we're already questioning his work ethic.
I'm saying maybe his coach is not helping him get to where he needs to be. Because, again, we watched the offseason workouts from him, too. Another guy's offseason hype videos.
God, no.
And guess what? He's still a fucking, a turnstile on defense.
Do you know what?
You mentioned his offensive game still needs to be molded. His defensive game is non-existent.
Remember the Dolph Lundgren?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I will help.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I would understand that Andrew Wiggins, he needed the right coach to help him buy into a system. He bought into the system. He's playing well. Yeah. Here's the thing that's the biggest concern for me. I think he's afraid. I talked about this in the beginning of the year. I don't think you can change that in a person. I don't think he doesn't take advantage of mismatches. I don't think he takes advantage of those.
But is it a knowledge thing?
We've seen that game in and game out.
Is it a knowledge thing of like he just needs practice
confidence.
In recognizing him?
No, it's
Ricky,
confidence.
What age did you learn I'm bigger than that person? Lauri Markkanen doesn't have that question often.
I don't know.
Especially when it's like a
junior high.
6'3" guard. Lauri Markkanen does not back down 6'3" guards. He doesn't have that mindset. I don't think you can learn that mindset either. I think some coaches probably taught him that before, and Markkanen is like, I like shooting threes.
Are we expecting him
I'm a
to be
big fan of
something
threes.
he's not, though?
It's DeMar DeRozan syndrome. DeMar DeRozan's 31 years old. Guess what he's not going to do? Shoot threes.
No, he's going to go mid-range.
Yeah, he's taken 4 threes this year so far.
Two less than 3. That good.
He's some guys, that's not their game.
Yep.
Lauri Markkanen's game isn't that. Lauri Markkanen is going to be Ryan Anderson-esque.
I know. I'm glad you said it out loud.
A better version of it, and he's going to have a longer career than Ryan Anderson. Yep. He's not going to have a fall-off like Ryan Anderson is, but that's what he's going to turn into. He's going to be a guy that's going to bounce around team for team because he brings something that is very unique to a team. great three-point shooter with a big body. And he could attack the bucket, too. That's why he's going to have a longer career than Ryan Anderson. He's going to be Ryan Anderson, though.
Yeah, I love that. Can we just clip this side by side with our draft shit? Where I was like, don't get mad at me, but... No, but I think he's better. He's better than Ryan Anderson. He started his career better than Ryan Anderson.
I didn't say he wasn't better than Ryan Anderson, but that's what he's going to be.
He's going
to be a very good.
He's a big
scorer.
4 who can shoot threes. I got you.
That's him. That's a game he wants to be. Let him be that.
I think he can be a little bit better than what he's shown us right now.
Oh, absolutely. That's why it's frustrating.
I think he can be easily a 20-point. I think the expectation this year, for me at least, was the
Detroit game.
A 20-6 player at least, 20-7.
Thank you for pointing out the Detroit team. You know why he did that? Because those guys, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, didn't want to play.
Yeah.
So there was no
Blake
effort.
was hobbled still.
Also, the Charlotte game from
there's
the first game of the year.
There's no effort out there. They were great in transition. They were creating so many spots. He was attacking the rim because he was wide open.
Yeah.
There was no one to stop him.
And Shaq Harrison found him for open threes.
There was nobody to stop him in that Detroit game.
Penetrate, kick out.
Lauri
go boom.
Lauri Markkanen in preseason workouts looks great because no one's guarding him. He's afraid
the old
of
chair
people.
Workouts.
He's afraid.
Caleb Reddish.
Lauri Markkanen's afraid. Zach LaVine doesn't try hard enough, and Jim Boylen's a dumbass.
Kobe White's our future. Wendell Carter's our future.
That's the thing with Kobe White.
Daniel Gafford.
That man is not consistent, but good Lord, does he go.
Final words. He is absolutely inconsistent. And people will look at the numbers, 39% from the field, 33% from three. That stuff will come along. Be patient with him. Because I was looking at his rolling number. So I took his college games and his first 15 games of his NBA career. Obviously, it's changed because he had one more game. Yeah. But I was looking at the first 15 games in 5-game segments for both his college career and his NBA career. And in his college career, it was start low for the first 5 games, then high, then low, then high, then low, and then he started leveling out.
Yeah.
And then the true shooting percentage, too. It was the same thing. It was rising, and then it leveled out. I think just with time, with more touches, and also with the ability to learn the game of NBA pace, I think that he's going to be a very good scorer. And if you put him with a defensive guard like Chris Dunn, his effort will shine. So I think that Kobe White is at least a starting guard in the NBA. I don't know what level to, but definitely not a wasted pick. Yep. I think selling him on Lou Williams, I think he's a harder hustling Lou Williams. I think he's going to be a blend of Lou Williams and De'Aaron Fox. Maybe a less better defender just because he's less physically gifted when it comes to height and wingspan. But he is very fast, got a ton of hustle. He's got a good shot too. He's got a lot of bounce. I think he's a really intriguing prospect.
And it's interesting that we give him looks at the end of the game too. You find that interesting that we're giving a rookie the chance to close game?
One thing too. Wendell Carter Jr. can set a motherfucking pick. Lauri Markkanen cannot. That's in somebody's body to do so. Markkanen is he's weak. I'm sorry.
Whatever thing you're talking about,
I'm weak too, but it takes someone to know someone. I'm a weak person. I know Markkanen's a weak person. You can just see it.
When you were saying the want, the drive, everything, got none of those concerns about Wendell?
No.
Not one. Like, how he plays, and the thing I loved most was just him, like, I can't remember what game it was, but he was like, it was the second Nick game. Yeah, Bobby ain't coming in here and doing that again. Like, that onus of, like, it almost reminded me of like 90s basketball where it was like, no, Patrick ain't doing that in here again. Right. Like, that's what it kind of reminded me
Let's
of.
end it on 90s basketball. Let us know your thoughts on the Bulls down in the comments below. Is Jim Boylen losing the locker room? I think yes, but I also think it's for the players for giving up on him as well, or at least just giving up in general. I think it's also on the players. This has been a bad start, but I also think it's on the players.
Would you want to play hard for Jim Boylen? I wouldn't.
No, but I could still play hard.
I'm getting paid millions of dollars to play a fucking game that means nothing.
I don't want to look like a fucking sham out there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's still my name out there. I don't care if...
Do you think the media, constant media swirl around your name being called lazy and, bad at basketball?
Look at us right now. I mean, we just
spent 30 minutes shit-talking.
Yeah, we're somewhat of the media, but also we can give love to the guys that are trying. Wendell Carter Jr., Kobe White, Shaq Harrison, Ryan Arcidiacono,
Chris Dunn.
Max Strauss at the end of that game.
Yeah, 4 points. 5 points for Max Strauss.
I mentioned my Bulls reaction.
Yeah.
The Strauss is loose.
Yeah.
But
Denzel played well.
Valentine actually hitting threes. I'm like, we shit on him nonstop.
I hope he gets traded.
And it's
not because he doesn't deserve
just so
a shot.
He's off the Bulls.
He does. No, I think he for him. He just. Yeah. I think it's best for him to get out just because he does like this. They don't want to play him, so like give him a shot somewhere. He's not getting a shot here.
The reason why I brought him up, DePaul kid.
Yeah,
Chicago
kid. Shepherd kid.
Yeah,
Or where did
My computer's dead. I would look it up.
he's blue and orange team Astros? I think it was Shepard.
Oh, Gregerson?
No, who the fuck is
the high school.
Gregerson?
The high
Luke
school.
Gregerson? Oh, the high school.
Not Gregerson.
Stag.
Yeah, Stag, that's it. He's a Stag kid. All right. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Final topic, we're going to be talking about the 2020 NFL Draft and the Chicago Bears and if they should take a quarterback with their picks. They have 6 picks right now. They have their 2nd, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They also have a 2nd rounder from the Khalil Mack trade and a 6th rounder that become a 5th rounder in the Jordan Howard trade. We will look at probably, I'll throw out 15 names. You guys obviously give the ones that you're interested in. Brian Lewerke, quarterback out of Michigan State. Sam Ehlinger out of Texas. James Morgan out of FIU. Khalil Tate out of Arizona. Nate Stanley out of Iowa. KJ Costello from Stanford. Jordan Love out of Utah State. Steven Montez out of Colorado. Kellen Mond out of Texas A&M. Former UCLA guy. He transferred, right?
He did. Kellen Mond was... Texas Tech.
Okay, Tech.
Yeah, I want to say.
Okay.
Or not Texas Tech. A&M.
He's A&M right now, but I thought he transferred.
No.
come
Oh,
from?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. Okay.
There we go.
Because he was there before Jimbo.
Yeah. Kellen Mond was a guy that I thought was a transfer. But yeah, we're currently at Texas A&M. Jamie Newman from Wake Forest. Joe Burrow from LSU. Jacob Eason out of Washington.
Burrow.
Jake Fromm from Georgia. Also, Eason obviously transferred from Georgia because of Fromm. Tua Tagovailoa, who we'll talk about because of his injury, out of Alabama. And then Justin Herbert from Oregon. So it looks like Burrow will be the first quarterback taken this year. Justin Herbert likely going to be a first rounder as well. Fromm possibly a first rounder. Ricky, I'm going to go to you first because you're more of the NFL draft guy.
Yeah.
Which guys will be available in the 2nd round? Because which guys can we cross off pretty
So,
much? Because I personally don't think the Bears have enough ammo to trade up to get a Burrow, to get a Herbert. Maybe they could trade up to get a late first rounder. But which guys can we pretty much write off?
So let's do this first. Burrow and Herbert are off the board.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for answering the question.
I'm answering the question.
We got an answer question.
So Burrow and
Right there.
Herbert.
Tell us up there. Nice job, big guy.
Burrow and Herbert are off the board for sure.
Bye-bye.
First thing I want to throw out there. What do you think the possibility of? We'll just get through it right away so we don't have to tease it.
3 letters.
Tua.
And
here's the thing. Here's why. Tua's injury. He's not going to be throwing until right before the draft. So is there a possibility? I know right now most mocks still have him in the top 5, in the top 10. Is there a possibility if he falls down to, let's say, 15, do the Bears package their 2 seconds together to move up for Tua?
I've seen mock drafts that don't even have him in the first round.
And I would almost do the same because of the type of when the injury happened and Dave was like, "Oh, it's the same one that Bo Jackson had that ended his career." I was like, "Oh, that's not
that was
right."
like 40 years ago.
30 years ago, and also I've heard that it's way better than the Bo Jackson injury.
Okay.
But oh my God.
Do you really think there's a possibility that he falls out of the first round?
Here's what I want to say. I don't know because I don't know how much teams are writing him off. But if he's available at 31 or 32, trade both 2nd rounders and go out and get him. This is what you need. And here's the thing. Here's the reason why. Because you still have Mitch Trubisky for 1 more year. And I don't want to see Mitch Trubisky play.
You can just let Tua get healthy.
You could have Tua rest, whatever. Like, burn a year. I don't care. You can get Tua Tagovailoa. And this guy...
Talk about him for 3 years.
Talked about him for 3 years as the first-round pick. And he's a lefty. This is my porn. Like, oh my God. This is incredible. This is exactly what I've wanted for years.
The only thing that could be different is if he was as silky as Tom Brady.
No, Tua was a different monster.
Okay.
I love him. Oh man, if you're telling me that you could have gotten this kid, if you told me that the Bears could have gotten him before this year, I would have been thrilled. And you're getting him for 2 seconds. That is something that you need to do as a good GM. And here's the thing.
Just so you know, the 32nd pick got traded last when Lamar Jackson got drafted.
I know.
And all the Baltimore...
The Eagles.
All they
could have had him.
Well, and all they had to do was Baltimore gave up a 2nd and a 4th and a future 2nd for a 1st and a 4th. So the Bears could technically give up a 2nd, give up a 4th.
We don't have a 4th.
Give up a 5th or a 3rd, or give up 2 picks and then a future pick next year. And they could keep
That's the same value.
one of their seconds still get Tua.
Sean's going to hyperventilate over
here's
there.
what you do. No, here's what you do. Here's what you do, because I've thought about this.
Of course he has.
You get Tua, right? You get Tua. You get Tua. You get Tua. You get Tua. You trade up. I don't care. You get Tua. And then you pull a little Kirk Cousins move. Take a little shot in the 6th round. Take a little shot in the 7th round. Take a little shot in some of these later rounds. Go out and get Nate Stanley out of Iowa. This kid's got a cannon. This kid's got a cannon. He's not that mobile. But here's the thing. You shorten his delivery because he's got a pretty long.
He whines.
He goes down, back.
Yep.
You shorten that delivery. This kid works hard enough. Kid gets up. Let's say Tua's injury is pretty bad. Nate Stanley. There you go. Take 2 guys. Why not? You got picks.
We don't got that many picks.
You got picks though.
If we're trading up for Tua, we're going to have 3 picks in this draft.
The thing is, I don't care about the 3 picks. You need to fix the offensive line. We know that.
Yep.
You need to find a second corner because Prince Amukamara is going to be a free agent. Also, he's like 30. He hasn't been playing bad, but you need to figure that out. Danny Trevathan's going to be a free agent, but also I kind of like Nick Kwiatkowski. You don't like?
I don't.
Why not? He can't pass coverage, but he's but he's incredible in the run.
Yeah, he closes on run really well.
He's really.
I'll give you that.
I think that's a guy that like is very feasible.
Okay.
I don't think he's a killer on a defense.
Okay. If he's your worst, he opens up the middle of our field too much. That's my only concern.
Here's the two games that he's played in. Against the Vikings, I didn't really see that.
Well, it's the Vikings.
Against the Rams, I really didn't see that. They only beat him deep because of Eddie Jackson.
Yep.
And then with the other game was the game Trevathan got hurt in was the Lions game, and I don't remember anything massive being hurt. I just remember Kyle Fuller being ass. So I haven't seen him be exposed too badly in the play game. So
if you're cool with him, that's fine.
If he's the worst defender on a team, I don't think you have an issue.
Okay.
You know, if he's the 11th best guy out there on your defense, or the 11th worst guy, I would say that it's a pretty good defense. So I think that the offensive line needs to be addressed. Absolutely. Quarterback is the most important position, though, in the NFL. Getting Tua and getting Nate Stanley or getting one of these later guys, absolutely huge for this team. And that's how you can at least mortgage your future, because you'll have Mitch, you'll have Tua, you'll have Nate Stanley, 3 quarterbacks that are young, that you can see everything that you got. At worst, Mitch is a backup, and he's a backup to Tua.
Because otherwise, if Tua's not available, I think if I'm the Bears, I'm taking my first pick in the 2nd round, I'm taking a quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
And then it just becomes down to the next guy I would bring up is...
this. I think we can all agree and disagree with me.
If the Bears' first pick isn't...
If one of their seconds is not used towards a quarterback,
we quit.
You have an issue.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay. So we all think that one of their 2nd round picks is going to be used on a quarterback.
Yep.
I don't care if it's their first one, because if they're taking the best offensive line on the board and it's a guy that could have been a 1st rounder, I don't really care about
Values
that.
There, go for it.
Maybe quarterbacks, there could be your guy that you like. I don't trust Ryan Pace to pick a quarterback, so that's a different issue. But at least picking a quarterback, one needs to be done in the 2nd round.
Yeah, the guy I would pick, and this is the guy I was going to bring up second, is Jalen Hurts. And the reason why I was going to bring him up is he is a anomaly right now. He is an enigma in the draft world, because some sites like Tankathon have him in the 3rd round. Mel and Todd on ESPN don't think he's a 1st round guy. I see something. Maybe I'm like drinking the Jalen Hurts Kool-Aid. Maybe I'm smoking too much reefer that I don't even smoke. I think this guy's a 1st round talent. Like, I think he's a definite 1st round guy.
Yep.
So if he's there at the 2nd round for the Bears, I think he would be an easy pick for the Bears with either of their seconds, probably their 1st one.
He's sturdy, and he looks like he's learned his
And coming up the Bulls segment, what were we talking about? Work ethic.
He's a gamer.
This guy's got it. This guy's got the work ethic and the drive to get better.
Hurts, I like his ability to work in different spots. I like his leadership. I do like that. I just don't know if he's an NFL QB. That's the thing that worries me, because yes, he's doing very well in Oklahoma, and he did very well in Alabama.
Yes, he did.
You are in 2 of the best situations possibly get.
Didn't we think a little bit similarly about Baker and Kyler, though?
Not Kyler. Kyler I was fine with.
Well, Kyler's big thing was, he's small. He's going to get destroyed.
I didn't think that. Did I?
I'm just saying that was the
Kyler.
big talking points. He's a smaller quarterback and he's not big like the other guys.
The thing with Baker that I agreed with was I was questioning his leadership, but I think I got over that once it came to draft time. I think I was just really I didn't like Baker, so that's why I didn't
because
like the pick.
of his predecessor.
Yeah, I liked
crotch grab.
I
and stuff
thought
like that.
Darnold was gonna. No, I didn't really like. I just didn't like him. I don't know.
Okay.
He just rubbed me the wrong way. But I like
I think
Josh
it's the
Rosen
Johnny
better.
Manziel
I like
syndrome.
Josh Rosen better. I like Darnold better because I think they were probably less riskier. So that's why I liked him. Baker was risky, but I think right now you could say that he paid off. I also like Lamar Jackson. He was risky, but also he's really talented.
I love Lamar Jackson.
So you can make the argument that Hurts is still talented, which he is.
Yep.
I just don't know if I think there's some risk in there. But he's also with the best offensive mind and also the best head coach, and Nick Saban, and then also Lincoln Riley. Yeah. So it's not like he's had bad coaching.
But
and if he's going to go into a Matt Nagy team, I worry.
I guess that's questionable, but like I think that he's shown in this past, at least 10, 12 weeks, whatever, that he's got the arm that people doubted to begin with. The fact that he has more of an arm than we had seen at Alabama. There's some trust there that had been built up. He can make some good throws. He knows how to read defenses. Like, I think that you're working with a much different project. Had I not seen this year, I would laugh at the idea of Jalen Hurts going first, second, third round. I'd be like, what? The kid who can only pull it down and run it and like make dump off passes? No. But we've gotten to see him in an offense where he can succeed, and it's like, oh shit, this guy can be a weapon out there.
Especially during that Baylor comeback.
Oh my God, this guy can absolutely sling it, and that's what gives me hope. That's why I'm with you. If he's available in the second round and Tua's not, he'd be my backup guy.
Because other than that, you're making like after those two progressions, you're then making your pick between Jacob Eason and Jake Fromm. Like that, and that right there, those two right now for me are the too early to tell. Those are going to be the two I dissect heavily once the season's over.
And here's coming back to why I liked Rosen and what's his face, Rosen and Darnold. Was because they seem more like NFL quarterbacks. Which I want to
especially Darnold
explain because like the more I think about it, like it sounds a little racist. I want to say, and this is now then it's like I have black friends. I like Lamar Jackson, so it's like I'm just saying like I think
I don't want to be
my immediate thought is like there's risk with Jalen Hurts. But you guys bring up great points, which can make me absolutely wrong. And the reason why I like Fromm and Eason is because, Fromm's got the big arm. He's got the ability to throw.
I like a little bit of a regression.
I like Eason because he's a Washington player. So, like, I'm not going to write off the fact that Jalen Hurts wouldn't be a choice for them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to blast any of it. You're just talking about quarterbacks, and I like them all better than Mitch Trubisky. So if they take Jalen Hurts, if they take Jake Fromm, if they take Jacob Eason, if they take Tua, I don't care. Take somebody. I think this is all this is coming down to. This is why I'm not a huge fan of this thing, because it's just like if you draft somebody, I don't care who it is. And
do you think there's one of these guys who works better with Matt Nagy's offense than the other?
I don't know what Matt Nagy's offense is. Do you?
Should Matt Nagy be around for the new quarterback?
I don't know. I think he's done a good job holding the locker room, but also he spouts bullshit left and right. I don't know what he's talking about half the time. He gives a lot of filler answer. It seems like the locker room likes him mainly because, they've been at least not falling apart, but is that like that big of an accomplishment? I'm iffy on Matt Nagy. I don't know what Matt Nagy's offense is.
I look back at last year for what Matt Nagy's offense could be.
Yeah.
That's my point of reference.
Even then, was it that good?
It was pretty good. I think it was pretty good, and we thought at the time
it
was
run game.
Limited. It's being able to use the run game to set up passes, to be able to use guys who are not traditional wide receivers or running backs and use them as offensive weapons. There's a way to get the ball in the guys' hands who can create.
I would just say, I know, I don't think Lincoln Riley's going to leave Oklahoma, but if you hired Lincoln Riley,
oh my God,
and then you drafted Jalen Hurts, zero issues here.
No, that would be the dream.
I'm good,
and that's funny.
Sounds good to me
that we're turning that quick on Matt Nagy, but I'd be 100% in on
I'm turning quickly on him because his team, I think, has scored maybe 17 points per game.
Yeah.
There's an issue. He's worse than Mark Trestman when it comes to his offense.
And he's supposed to be the offensive
You mean
genius.
the 7-step drop of Mark Trestman doesn't, give you faith when we had 1.5 offensive linemen?
No. I mean,
I hated Trestman.
What are they? He's the Tampa Bay XFL head coach.
Matt Nagy has had a worse offense statistically when you compare it to the league that they were in than Mark Trestman. then John Fox,
Trestman
then
had a
Lovie
better
Smith.
quarterback. All of those guys had a better quarterback.
I
Jay
don't-
Cutler is best quarterback in
If
Bears
you're an
history.
offensive genius, you should still be better than Mark
Over Jim
Trestman.
McMahon.
Yes,
Okay.
over Jim McMahon.
All right.
Did he just ask if Jim McMahon's better than Jay Cutler?
Super Bowl.
There was 52
We had the
other
most
guys.
dominant team in the NFL
Yeah, they were
ever.
the second best team in NFL top 100, and I
I
don't
would
think they
argue
talked about
first-
Jim McMahon.
And I would argue first because
Yeah,
the
they
fact
put
that
the
we
Dolphins won.
didn't give up points. I get the Dolphins didn't lose a game, but like
Yeah.
we didn't give up points.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Gave up 30 to Marino.
But like that's the only game. Like if you look at that season,
and
the difference.
And the reason why is because the 46 defense can be beaten by a passing team, and then you have like the fifth greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah,
I think you lost by 3 in that game or 10. But yeah, I mean, I forget what it was. I don't remember the score. I wasn't born.
No, I get that. I think
None
it's
of us
funny.
were
We both
born.
3
just
or 10.
instant rant back and forth. Like, all right,
You want to talk
back
about the 85 Bears? It's way better. They also had the greatest running back of all time, so it's tough to be a bad quarterback when you have a great.
And an
Players.
amazing fullback who could also play defense. Or a guy who played defense.
It was a defensive tackle who ran once, and you just remember it because it was a Super Bowl
ran
highlight.
more than once, but yeah.
Didn't
He's
they
had
do it in the
one
Niner game
important-
first?
What's up?
Didn't they do it in the Niner game first?
This is
and
not
then-
85 Bears stuff. Let's just get back on track here, people.
When was McMahon drafted?
I quit.
I think that taking shots at a quarterback is most important. So take 2 shots. I don't care if you take Eason
You
and
don't
then
think
another
it
quarterback.
matters. You don't think the quarterback or the coach matters as far as these quarterbacks are concerned. You can put them in a
it
bowl,
does.
shake it up, and just.
It absolutely does.
So which one?
What?
Which one of these quarterbacks works best with Matt Nagy if he stays?
I already answered. I don't know what Matt Nagy's offense is, so I have no idea. I can't answer that question.
So it doesn't matter. I can put him in a bowl and shake
Yeah,
him up. Like
I'm gonna say Jalen Hurts.
It does. I think it does matter which
I think I
quarterback you
take
put in
Hurts
there.
because his mobility, his ability to.
But here's the thing: Mitch Trubisky's best ability is his mobility, and they have taken that away.
Yep.
They
But I
don't
know
want
if-
him to run.
I don't know if they took it away or he took it away.
I think that.
What if he was told not to run?
He said during the season or during the beginning of the season, they wanted Mitch to throw more. They wanted him to throw more. So they don't want a mobile quarterback for some reason. So that's why Hurts scares me.
So then Fromm's the guy you're looking at?
Traditional. He's got a ton of experience.
Fromm and Eason, but I would probably go Fromm
it's
over
so
Eason.
stupid because they like when Mitch makes plays with his legs. I don't know what they want. You
Yeah.
can't figure out with this team. So I think just take the kid with the most talent because I don't think Nagy and Pace are going to be there next year or at some point. I think at some point they're going to be fired. So take the most talented kid that's going to work with anybody.
Yeah.
So I would take the kid that can work his ass off, that can throw the ball decently, that has some either great accuracy, a great arm, or mobility. Take someone with a great X factor, whoever that may be. That's the thing. That's why I would love if Tua fell because that
Maybe the
kid's got
dream. Yeah,
he's got
everything.
accuracy, he's got throwing power, he has the ability to look off defenders, which I didn't know was possible in college. Mitch Trubisky didn't. And mobility. So I would love all of that. The injury risk is there, but that's why you take 2 quarterbacks this draft because you need to take quarterback every single year. That's what Bill Belichick did. There was a great article by SB Nation that showed like all the draft value that they used, the Bears have used, and all the stuff. And this is before Tom Brady. So every quarterback that they've taken after Tom Brady, they have used under 1,000 pick value spent on quarterbacks, and they've thrown over 40,000 yards in their career. That's more than the Bears, and the Bears have spent 4 times more on a quarterback. That's more than the Minnesota Vikings, and they've spent 2.5 more on quarterbacks. Buffalo spent 4.5 more. Carolina spent 4.2 more. Houston spent 5 times more. Arizona spent 6.7 times more. Tennessee spent 7.1 more, and Cleveland spent 7.2 more. And
Scouting and coaching matter.
And the Patriots have taken quarterbacks matters.
Well,
they've missed on QBs. They've missed on Ryan Mallett. They've just taken a ton.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They've taken Brissett. They've taken Garoppolo at points that they didn't need to. They're counting Hoyer in this, but they also just
Matt Castle.
picked up a young quarterback that was undrafted that at least could run an offense. Matt Castle. Sign some young fucking quarterbacks. We don't need Chase Daniel. Take some guys that can possibly be someone if the guy that you did take a shot on in Mitch Trubisky at 3 doesn't work out.
All right.
Wasn't it technically at 2 because you traded up for him?
Oh, God. Damn it. So that's my point.
This guy
is
keeps track.
take 2 quarterbacks. I don't care who you want.
I do because I.
You
still
guys
have
like
to,
Hurts, though?
I just like Hurts, just overall. And
He seems like a really good person.
Yet again,
Which,
but
that was like the Deshaun Watson thing. Maybe I shouldn't be scared by the big name. Maybe I shouldn't be scared by
Results
his
matter
his
in
mobility.
college.
And that's the thing we should be predicting. Which one is Ryan Pace going to fall in love with? Because it's all that matters.
Who's got the least?
Eason.
He's
Who
not
has
going to
no
look
track
at.
record?
He's not going to look at anything else. He's just going to Eason and then boom.
He's going to pick Eason because he has no track record. He works hard. He probably drives his grandma's car, and he's going to be the worst out of Hurts, From, and
Pace is going to go work out
Eason.
with him, and there's going to be some sap story like that, and Pace is going to fall in love.
Yikes. All right. I think that sums up our thoughts on the Bears.
I wish we could get Ryan Pace on the phone, you know.
Maybe
to
in
let
a
him-
couple months we can get Ryan Pace on the phone close to draft time.
I think that'd be good. Ryan Pace, you're watching. I know you are. Sean's like, Sean, I started him out so high.
You want
so
to send us
low.
off, Ricky? Because I don't think Sean's got any positive words left.
I still got words.
Positive words. You said positive.
Okay, here, I'll keep it positive
Sean
for you.
just reminded me of that guy who was drunk at the bar. All right, I think Tony's done. I'll tell you when I'm done.
I got
Here's-
one more, man.
Here's the thing. And this was said by the great Terry Bors to a caller. And he said, I got a lot of words for you. And Terry said this, and I'll keep it positive for you. I have 2 words for you, too. The first word, I can't say. The second word is you. And that's to Ryan Pace. I'm so sick of him. Come out and fucking talk about your damn team. Talk about the mistakes that you made with Mitch Trubisky. Quit giving a... Talk. Defend your team. Help out your team. Matt Nagy's fucking drowning each and every time he steps to the fucking podium. I think Matt Nagy's a really nice guy, and Ryan Pace seems like chicken shit.
I'll be completely honest. You could say the same thing about the Bulls.
So here's
The Garpax is letting Boylen drown or hang himself, however you want to look at it.
Gar hides. John Paxson is talking.
Okay. I haven't heard anything about John. Like, I haven't seen any John Paxson.
John's
quotes.
talked. John is very available to the media.
Okay.
John's talked. The Bulls do it right.
Okay.
The Cubs do it right. The White Sox do it right. Stan Bowman does it right.
The Bears just do it wrong.
The Bears, Ryan Pace does it wrong. That's the issue. God, I hate this team. That's why I want them to take 2, because if you miss twice, you still at least try twice. Just try. Honestly, use all 6 picks on quarterbacks. I don't care.
Throw enough shit at the wall, something's going to stick, right?
Thank you. Hopefully. God, it wouldn't in Chicago. It would all just turn into a shitstorm, and Lake Michigan would turn into shit.
Send us home, Shawnee.
I don't care what quarterback. If we got Tua, I'd scream and I'd buy a Tagovailoa jersey. And if it's Hurts, I hope the best.
Would you
for
buy a
Jalen
Hurts jersey?
No, because I just like Tua.
Oh, okay.
He wears 13. He's a lefty. Like that's.
Would
me.
you actually get it to say Tagovailoa, or would you be that custom jersey guy that says just Tua?
No, Tagovailoa.
Okay.
It's his last name. That's what's on the jersey. But yeah, no.
Plus, could you imagine that in a hardcore Chicago accent?
My
Tagovailoa.
No, because they're not going to pronounce half those letters.
Yeah.
That's the real challenge. Is if we did draft him, what would his name be here?
They would just say Tua, and I think they would probably say Tuna. Because
That tuna guy.
That tuna kid.
They like thrown in ends.
Yep, that
in different
Trubinsky.
places.
That tuna,
Trubinsky.
That tuna.
McCown.
That
Yeah.
Tunis
McGowan.
guy. Got to put the S at the end too.
Yeah, so
Tunis.
I would say the quarterback that I want is Tua.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that I don't want is probably the guy that Ryan Pace wants.
Which is Jacob Eason.
I don't know who it is,
Okay.
but I don't care. Take a quarterback.
That
Those are your
tongue
thoughts,
violin
Don.
guy.
There's
I heard
all-
good things.
There's also a good chance that Ryan Pace goes, nope, we made the right decision. And then doesn't
If he
take
doubles
it.
down and goes like
Chicago
O-line,
sucks,
O-line.
so it'd probably be like, yeah, I'd take that Hawaiian guy. Or that kid from Alabama. And then you'd get drafted and be like, yeah, that Alabama kid, he's won you a Super Bowl, sir. His name is Tua Tagovailoa. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Who should the Bears take at quarterback?
Cam.
KO.
Ended how we start. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Which quarterbacks the Bears should take. But for Ricky Widmer, that's Dave Oster. I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.